The Emerald Tablet. Chapter 26. The Forest is Haunted. With her telepathy skills, Heidi would have needed to be unconscious not to sense Benjamin's emotions while he'd been below the fountain. She must not have been able to reach him with her thoughts, or maybe she hadn't tried. Whatever the reason, to Benjamin's relief, nobody mentioned it. He had to put it behind him, at least for the time being. Once again outside the fountain, Benjamin pulled both keys out of his pockets. They pulsated with light when he brought them close together. "So can you tell us where the third key is?" Benjamin asked Ananya, pushing thoughts of the cavern test far from his mind. "No, that is not possible, for I do not know," Ananya replied. "I only became aware of the location of the first key when you removed it from its hiding place beneath the Emerald Buddha." "Will it be hard to get?" Benjamin asked, looking down at his shoes. "I mean, will I have to face another test?" "The first key was a test of strength, the second a test of courage. There is no doubt the third key will have a challenge you must overcome, though what it is I do not know," Ananya replied. Benjamin looked down at the keys, then back at her. "Thank you," he said. "No, thank you, Benjamin Holt. Now I believe it is time to part ways," Ananya said. "Do you remember the way to the Universal Travel Agent?" Benjamin began to shake his head no, but saw Heidi nodding hers. "I'm pretty good with directions," she said. "I should be able to get us back there." "Then I suppose we should take our leave," Ananya said. "Goodbye for now." "For now?" Benjamin asked. "Yes, for we shall meet again, Benjamin Holt and Heidi Dillon," Ananya replied. She put up her hand, stopping them from asking any questions. "I cannot tell you when, for I do not know exactly, but I am certain that this is not the last time we are to see each other." Ananya and the golden-haired man smiled and bowed. Benjamin, unsure what to do, bowed back and noticed Heidi did the same. Chaos jumped up onto Ananya's shoulder and screeched his goodbye. He then rested his head gently into the crook of Ananya's neck, much like a baby ready to fall asleep on its mother. Ananya and the man turned and walked away, leaving the shelter of the crystal dome, no longer glittering as the sun had long since set. Benjamin and Heidi turned and began to walk the other way. "So you're sure you know where we're going?" Benjamin asked, trying not to think about the fountain experience. "Definitely," Heidi replied. "It's just down the grassy hill by the river." Thankfully she didn't ask about what had happened. When he felt ready to talk about it he would, if he ever felt ready. They set off, soon leaving the city walls far behind. While it had been light inside the city, the moonless sky was dark, and the farther they were from the city the darker it became. Heidi slowed her pace, walking closer to Benjamin. Without warning she stopped. "Did you hear that?" she asked. "Hear what?" Benjamin said. "I didn't hear anything." "Shh!" she hissed. She listened, not moving anything but her eyes. A quiet, mournful cry began, growing louder as the wind picked up. Heidi and Benjamin both jumped at the sound. "I heard it that time," Benjamin said. "It's coming from the forest," Heidi whispered, nodding toward the pitch-black far to the right. "Do you think that's what Ananya was talking about? Do you think that's Reva?" He couldn't help but think about his experience in the cavern. His mum had said she had taken the twins. Was Reva that she his mum had been talking about? But he told himself the whole thing had been contrived directly from his mind, hadn't it? Or was Reva more powerful than anyone, even Ananya, could know? "Shh!" Heidi said again. Again she stood immobile. The wailing gradually faded away to nothing. After waiting for a minute, Benjamin finally spoke. "Can you tell what it is?" "It's something old and something evil. I can't make out any thoughts, but I can sense it. It's not going to harm us, at least not tonight, but it's the most concentrated source of evil I've ever sensed in my whole life." She suddenly shook her head, trying to break off the connection. "Let's get out of here." They hurried down the hill to the river, where they found the immersion point for the Universal Travel Agent glowing. Stepping on, they entered the swirling vortex, which would hopefully return them back to Lemuria.